everybody, welcome back to another video on the Chaddy the Chump channel, and today we are going to be discussing the two UK fight cards this weekend, both clashing with each other, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is, better two than none, and that is Frazer Clarke versus Jamie TKV on the BBC in Derby. It's Boxer's first show since June, and Ben Whittaker returns with Matchroom Boxing this time against Benjamin Gavazzi. So two pretty big UK shows coming up this Saturday, and we're going to be discussing both. Right, of course, it's not great to be clashing, and as well as that, you might have to pick which one you're going to watch if the main events both intertwine, because you can't put one eye on one fight and one eye on the other. You just can't do it. So you might have to pick. So I'm going to tell you which one, you should probably pick. And you can listen to me, you could not, but let's talk about it. So, the first fight we are going to discuss is Frazer Clarke versus Jamie TKV, and it's spiced up, right, in fight week on TalkSport. TKV, always says, oh, it's not me, it's him saying all this stuff, but, TKV started it with Adelaide, there was beef there, and now there's somehow beef with Frazer Clarke, even though Frazer Clarke is probably one of the nicest heavyweights in boxing. So, it's good, it sells the fight, right? But to be honest, I'm not going to say the fight doesn't need to be sold, because it probably does to a more, proper fan base. But the fact this is on the BBC does mean it is going to get so many more viewers than Ben Whittaker versus Benjamin Gavazzi, and that is no fault to Whittaker versus Gavazzi or Matchroom or the event. It's just pretty simple that BBC 2 on a Saturday night is going to get more views than any sort of non-pay-per-view DAZN show, any DAZN show in general, to be honest. So this is going to get a lot of views, and it's a good advertisement for British boxing, and I hope it is a good fight, because it'll probably bring more fans to the sport, which of course is very good. But if it's not a good fight, it could shy away people from watching it, which isn't great. But let's actually talk about the fight real quick. Frazer Clarke is, of course, going for that British title, and TKV fought for it against David Adelaide, lost, but that was pretty controversial, was winning the fight until, the referee said break, and Adelaide threw a shot which put TKV down, and then that was basically the end of the fight. So, he was kind of robbed there, to be honest, because if you're winning the fight and you get caught with a shot where you've been told to break, it's not fair on you, really. So TKV is a good operator at British heavyweight level. Frazer Clarke obviously lost to Fabio Wardley in October. Since then, got a pretty good win against Ebenezer Tete, and now he gets his British title shot. To be honest, there's a pretty good chance it won't be a good fight. TKV isn't really known for having an exciting style, and I guess Frazer Clarke is right. That first Fabio Wardley fight was fight of the year, so I guess he can have a good style, but TKV, I'm not sure, and I think TKV could win this fight if, he, is kind of hard sort of fighting style. If he has a tough style where Clarke can't really land any shots on him or anything like that, he's got a good chance of winning this on points. But I do think Frazer Clarke, he's got the power, right? He is very good, he is up for it, and it's going to be close. It is going to be close, but I am going to predict that Frazer Clarke will beat Jamie TKV, and the power's there. I think, there's a lot of eyeballs on this. TKV don't want to be very boring, right? And I get, it's a fight, it don't matter if you're boring as long as you win the fight. But a lot of people are watching this, right? And on Sunday morning, they're going to start complaining if this is a bad fight. So, I do think, TKV will try and come for it a bit and, really win the fans over and win the British title. But I don't think he'll succeed, and I think Frazer Clarke will win this fight. By knockout, maybe, but he's still good at going to wars, Frazer Clarke, right? He went toe-to-toe with Fabio Wardley, and many say he won that fight, obviously got a point deducted. So, I think Frazer Clarke can do it all, quick knockouts, long fights, and he will win this fight. Let's talk about Ben Whittaker versus Benjamin Gavazzi. Of course, Whittaker is returning, but the one that kind of makes me sort of shy away from this fight is that Benjamin Gavazzi is probably not the bestest of fighters, right? Eddie Hearn is a smart guy. He knows he's not going to put Ben Whittaker in with, this brilliant, even journeyman, He's thinking carefully about this, right? But again, the level of opposition Ben Whittaker has faced isn't to the highest level. His best opponent was Liam Cameron, who obviously in the first fight was close because of that, out the ring nonsense. But then the second one was an absolute, one-sided affair. So I think Whittaker is good, and I think he'll easily beat Benjamin Gavazzi, right? I just think that Gavazzi is a good matchmaking option and isn't going to really cause Whittaker any problems, because this is your star boy, right? You don't want to ruin him yet. If you are going to ruin him in a world title fight or in a big fight, but not in this one yet. So Ben Whittaker will win this fight. So 2 big shows this Saturday, but unfortunately they are going to clash with each other. 2 UK shows are of course going to be on at that same time. So, if it comes down to it, and Ben Whittaker, is walking out, and Frazer Clarke is walking out, what are you going to watch? Well, I recommend watching Frazer Clarke versus Jamie TKV. It'll probably be the more talked about fight, right? As well as that it probably could be a better fight. I can see the interest in Ben Whittaker versus Gavazzi, of course, because it's the return of Ben Whittaker. But this is boxer's first show on the BBC, which is very, very exciting. The start of a long-term deal. Ben Shalom said they're going to have shows, once a month, which, of course, everyone was saying that it was going to be just 4 fight a year deal. Frank Warren, mainly, and Eddie Hearn said that. And they both didn't truly know what the actual deal was, so they were just saying that, and the truth is it is 1 show per month. That's what they're looking to do. So it's the start of that, and I think it's a pretty good British heavyweight title fight, but hopefully the 2 main events aren't really intertwining and we can just watch both of them normally, because no one likes show classes. Let's be real, nobody likes them. But anyways, guys, comment down below your thoughts on these 2 cards. Which one are you going to watch? And I'm excited, man. It's still good, right? It's better than no events, right? 2 events is better than none. Obviously, this is going to become more of an issue in the future, right? It's just guaranteed. boxer are going to have shows on Saturdays, you know, especially like, you know, Callum Simpson versus Troy Williamson. That is also clashing with a Matchroom show, and I think the next one is as well. But it's just, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, and hopefully we don't have to pick between these shows and we can just watch both the main events. I will say that the Ben Whittaker undercard is better, right? Cameron Vaughn versus Gavin Gwynn, a great rematch. I think some good area title fights on the undercard as well. So overall, it is going to be a pretty good weekend. But anyways guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.